scientists believe we have such a large population of whales that return to Maui each season. Because the shallower waters provide a little more protection from the predators that roam the deep waters of the Pacific. Because when they come to Maui, they come for two reasons. They come to make babies and they come to have babies. They've got a 11-month gestation period, so if they get pregnant, this year, when they come back next year, they'll be having their calves. As we continue to get a little bit closer toward the island of Moloka'i, you'll notice the little tiny islands off to the right. That is known as Turtle Rock. It's got a couple names, but Turtle Rock is what I refer to it as we're headed this direction, because it simply looks like a sea turtle swimming to the inner parts of the island. But this area is known for having a large population of hammerhead sharks. So a lot of people who like to dive with sharks contact some charter scuba diving boats in Lahaina. They take about a 50-minute drive here. This guy here, the boat that's coming from the island, this is where they've been doing some diving this morning, or leading into this afternoon. Now, again, this is the island of Moloka'i, also known as the Friendly Island. If you want to come to Moloka'i for a visit, you can fly on the charter airlines with Moloka'i Airlines. They fly you into Moloka'i, which is in the central part of the island. They don't have a ferry service, so if you want to get here, that's about the only way you can do it unless you know somebody with a boat. And this island, we're coming up on the very eastern tip of the island, and it stretches 38 miles to the west. And it's 10 miles if you go north shore to south shore. So this is really a long and skinny island. You can actually see, if you look right here, you can see on the map what it looks like. So long and skinny island. Just on the other side of this island, you'll find the island of Oahu. All right, as you cross over the shoreline here, just underneath us, we've got a road that winds its way up, and it's the only road on the eastern part of the island. Goes up through this beautiful ranch on the right-hand side, and this is called the Pu'uhoku Ranch. Then drops into the valley, and then it ends at this valley. And so once we get beyond Halava Valley, where I'm going to take you, there's no other way to get to it than by aircraft. Now, this valley is not popular at all. It's not a very large valley, but it probably has the biggest historical impact on all of the Hawaiian Islands, because it's in this valley that they've found the first evidence of visitors to the Hawaiian Islands. And so it dates back to 650 AD, and that's the earliest that they found people living in the Hawaiian Islands, and they lived in this valley. They say at one point there was over 8,000 people living in this valley, which is today the entire population of Moloka'i. But today we only have about 24 folks that live in the valley, and if you look low and to the right, right near the shoreline, you can see some of their homes. And they live off the grid out here, so they have to produce their own electricity, collect and use their own rainwater. And because of that, because of the lifestyle that they've chosen to live, we've decided to, as a company, to fly above the valley to kind of reduce the noise and the impact on the folks that live here. Yeah, so Moloka'i is one of just 3 islands in the 8 Hawaiian island chain. that doesn't rely on tourism as its main source of income. They make most of their money off of agriculture and livestock, which they grow on the central and the western part of the island. But as we come over this ridge, I'd like to welcome you to the north shore of Moloka'i. And this is where we have the highest sea cliffs on Earth.
I could not stop the tune now, no singing. Come out upon my seas, curse missed opportunities. Am I a part of the cure, or am I part of the...
Alright, though it's kind of difficult to see right now, we're going to come into this valley and we've got a beautiful 1,100-foot waterfall just in front of us. As we get a little bit closer, you'll start to pick it up. I'm going to try to get in the shadow here where we can see a little bit better. So welcome to Papalua Falls. So these sea cliffs stretch for 18 miles here on the north shore. And what makes them the tallest is just up in front of us going up near the clouds. We got a 3,900 foot sea cliff from sea level up to the summit. And the scientists believe the island of Moloka'i used to stretch several miles off to the right hand side here. But there was a fault line created in the creation of this island. And during an earthquake or maybe a volcanic eruption, this fault line broke off and the whole part of the island slid underwater. The same type of event happened on the big island of Hawaii on the Ohana volcano. It's just that those sea cliffs aren't as tall as these, but it was the same type of event. Now this valley on the left, this is called Wailau Valley, and it's one of two valleys I'm going to show you. So just up here where actually the clouds are below the summit, this is where we have our highest point. And then as you look up the coastline, you'll see the big peninsula sticking out, and that's known as Kalapapa Peninsula. And this is where in 1861, King Kamehameha III established the leper colony here on the Moloka'i Island.